Hello, everybody. Okay, so I'm Jay Truesdale. I'm the academic director for game, film, animation, and photography. For those of you in the front rows, you may or may not know this. Everyone on this stage knows this, and many of you in the audience know this if you've ever had the privilege of teaching a class before. But we as instructors, we derive all of our energy, all of our strength, all of our determination from you, the students, completely. So for that, I would like to say thank you for helping us get through it. Now, within every class, there's a bell curve. And at the upper end of the bell curve are the exceptional students. I'm looking at some of you here tonight. Some of you behind the switcher there. Some of you in the front row up there, mentor. Some of you sitting on a stool over there. There's an upper end of the bell curve. And you are the students that we truly, truly, truly count on. Because you are the ones that we know that whatever we set the bar to, you will achieve. Thank goodness you do. Because you show the other students that it's possible. You inspire them. You drive them and push them harder. Okay, so for that, I would like to say thank you. We would like to say thank you. Now, within the upper end of the bell curve, there is another upper end of that bell curve. And these are the students that when we set the bar, they achieve that bar. And then they go beyond it, and then they turn around and look at us and say, really? Really, Jay Truesdale? That's where you're going to set the bar? These are the students that not only inspire the fellow students, but they inspire us, the faculty. They challenge their fellow students, and they challenge us, the faculty, to do better, that we should be doing better for you. They're the ones who say, hey, Jay Truesdale, professional people do this. You should have us students do that too. You're right, we should. These are the students that after they graduate, get a job at a television station in a major market, and they say, hey, Jay Truesdale, my boss is making me do this. Why don't you have our students do this too? You're right, we should. These are the students that go on to work in Hollywood on movie sets with famous named actors, and they say, hey, Jay Truesdale, my boss is making us do this. You should have your students do that too, and you know what, you're right, we should. So, to those superstars, I and everyone on the stage would like to say thank you, truly, and especially welcome back, Rachel Voter.
Good evening, everyone. I'm very honored and humbled to be with you tonight. Thank you for the invitation to be able to share with you and yours on such an important day. There are many new faces out here, but I feel very connected to each of you. After all, it was only 2 years ago that I sat anxiously in your very seats. My name is Rachel. I'm a graduate of AI's film program. When I first came to AI, I would like to tell you that I had never used a video camera. I did not own a computer or have internet. I didn't have a smartphone. And whenever I took pictures, it was with a disposable Kodak camera that I bought at a 7-Eleven. I knew that I loved film and television and storytelling, but I didn't know much else. My first day on campus was for freshman orientation, and the first students I saw were in the hallway checking out equipment from the equipment cage. Now, I remember this vividly because every piece of equipment was completely foreign to me. I had no idea what I was looking at, but I was drawn to it. I knew that if I could understand this alien technology, I would understand the magic of entertainment. I thought to myself that if one day I could recognize all that crazy equipment and maybe know how to use a bit of it, then I would be a success and my time at AI would have been worthwhile. Now, this story is a very simple one, but it's one that I revisit often. Nowadays, I live in Los Angeles. I work for CBS Television Studios, and I do many, many things. Most of those things are social media and digital video production for all of our studio shows. This includes drama, comedies, daytime and late night television. This means that I'm lucky enough to go to not one, but several sets and meet all kinds of amazing people. I've worked with incredible new talent, but I've also worked with actors and directors that I've looked up to since childhood. And I've sat in meetings with the executives that are, on a daily basis, shaping the entire industry of Hollywood from behind the scenes. Now, I wish that I could tell you that my journey to Hollywood was inevitable, that moving to LA was an easy choice because I was following my heart. And I really wish that I could tell you that once I got my foot in the door, I blew everyone away with my talent and work ethic, because it was my destiny. However, none of that would be true, at least not the whole of it, and that wouldn't really help you guys. I would like to be very honest with you and tell you that I was not the best student from my class. I was not the valedictorian. I did not have a perfect GPA, and I was not on the dean's list every semester. I am not smarter than any of my peers, and definitely not smarter than any of you here tonight. I am not better, and I am not more talented. I have never had the slightest idea where I've belonged or where I'm headed. But I've tried desperately to look back on my 2 years in Tinseltown with the hopes that I could muster up something worth sharing with all of you on this very special day. Now, what I realized is that the qualities that have helped me find my way are the ones that don't necessarily show up on my transcript or my resume. And they are the traits that will truly make or break all of you. Character, integrity, creativity, teamwork, perseverance. These will define you as a person, as an artist, and as a leader in your field. They cannot be measured by your GPA. They cannot be learned from a textbook. But if you have been paying attention, AI has already taught you all of them. Though the lessons are numerous, I'd like to share with you the top 5 things I learned from AI that did not come out of a textbook. Number 1, you will be criticized, and that won't kill you. Number 2, if you're going to criticize someone, you'd have better have a suggestion. Criticism without contributing to a solution is just complaining, and there is always a solution. If you remember that, you will be the person to find it. You are your company. Develop an eye for talent and a good judge for character. Keep yourself in good company, but also strive to be good company to others. Remember that there are thousands of graduates across the country, and they have all studied the same exact skills that you have. Your attitude is what's going to set you apart from the crowd. Limitations and guidelines are not your enemies. They're your greatest opportunities for brilliance. And finally, the only failure is that of giving up. Persevere, no matter what the world throws at you, and you will enjoy many, many more days just like today. But of course, I think all of you knew that already. That's why you're here. You're here today because you never gave up on yourself. You are here today because you have parents and families that raised children to never give up on themselves. And you are here today because you had a faculty. You had teachers, mentors, and motivators that never gave up on you, no matter how hard you were to deal with. Every morning on my way to work, I drive past the Hollywood sign, but it doesn't seem real. So every chance I get, I walk into a soundstage, or I peek inside a massive and unattended grip truck, and I look around, and in my head, I name every piece of equipment that I can see, not only to remind myself that I am qualified and I belong here, but simply because now I can. I think it's important to remember where you started and how much you've grown. Too often in life, we are focused on what we have to do next, so focused that we forget how far we've already come. Today, I hope each of you can look back on where you started your first semester at AI and who you were. And I hope that you acknowledge how much you've grown since then, because I assure you it is an incredible accomplishment. It is an accomplishment that will motivate you for the rest of your life, so long as you take the time to remember it. From the bottom of my heart, congratulations.